But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even return. With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season.
Nitpicking every single thing I do, and I know I want to help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve.
Caitlin Clark's rumored ownership stake in the WNBA is making headlines everywhere, and many are wondering if it's enough to keep her in the States. But what if this groundbreaking deal goes even further? Imagine Clark not only owning a part of the Indiana Fever, but also securing equity stakes in her sponsorships with brands like Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. This could revolutionize how athletes leverage their star power for financial growth. Stick around as we dive deep into how Caitlin Clark's potential ownership deal could change the landscape of women's sports forever.
Ball is trying to clear 8. Shot clock's down to 9. Here as Clark gets inside, the scoop shot fall from the three-point line has gotten to the rim, and she'll head to the foul line here momentarily. Early second quarter, Indiana's battled back within 3. Dangerous pass. It's Clark who's off to the races, and Caitlin Clark pulls the Fever back within 1. Brink lobbing it inside. Hamby denied. It's 22, Caitlin Clark.
The rumor that Caitlin Clark could be offered a piece of the Indiana Fever has been the talk of the basketball world. While player ownership isn't unheard of, Michael Jordan famously became part owner of the Charlotte Hornets. This would be a first for the WNBA. It's a bold move by the league, signaling just how valuable Clark is to the future of women's basketball.
Big shakeup for the Charlotte Hornets. The team's owner, NBA legend Michael Jordan, agreeing to sell a majority stake of the franchise.
Let's go back to 2019. That is when Michael Jordan then sold a minority share of the Charlotte Hornets to somebody named Gabe Plotkin.
But the potential WNBA ownership stake is only one piece of the puzzle. Clark's star power has already attracted major brands like Nike, State Farm, and Gatorade, leading to lucrative sponsorships. Now, imagine if Clark could leverage her new ownership position to secure equity stakes in these sponsorships as well. The idea isn't far-fetched. We've seen athletes like LeBron James do it with Beats by Dre, Blaze Pizza, and more. Could Caitlin Clark be next?
So, being authentic to what we do as far as if it's, TV, if it's digital, if it's apparel, whatever the case may be, just all these people that we've met along the way that grow up in similar situations. And for us, when we talk about storytelling, we want to be able to hit home.
Athlete endorsements have evolved beyond just wearing a logo or appearing in commercials. Top athletes today are demanding equity, and brands are more than willing to offer it. For Caitlin Clark, this means that her sponsorship deals could include partial ownership of the brands she promotes, creating a win-win scenario. If she can bring the same energy to Nike or Gatorade as she has to the WNBA, these brands could see a major boost in sales and visibility. Nike, for instance, could offer Clark equity in its women's basketball division or a stake in the development of her own signature shoe line. With Clark's impact on WNBA merchandise sales, up 450% in 2024, according to Fanatics, Nike's women's basketball sales could skyrocket. Similarly, Gatorade, which has a history of working with elite athletes, could offer Clark a stake in its new product lines, targeting younger female athletes who see Clark as a role model.
When we look at the numbers, I'll just do like a really quick scenario for you. When we look at the numbers and when we look at what the WNBA has earned over the past years and the entirety of the WNBA, the numbers actually make sense. There has been so much discussion about the discrepancy between the WNBA salary and the NBA salary because, as we all know, NBA players make millions and millions of dollars. Actually not that unfair what the players are paid. Now, that might all change because of this season, but in the past, the only on record revenue that I could find of the WNBA is $60 million.
If Caitlin Clark were to secure equity in her sponsorships, it would likely be structured similarly to other high-profile deals. For instance, when LeBron James partnered with Blaze Pizza, he became an investor, co-owner, and brand ambassador, allowing him to earn a significant percentage of the company's growth.
Hit a lot of homes where they feel like they can be just as part of that story, or they feel like, oh, you know what, I can relate to that story because I am someone that's going through that same situation.
For Clark, this could mean a significant payday in addition to her player's salary and endorsement income. One potential structure for Clark's deals could involve performance-based equity, meaning that the better she performs on the court and the more buzz she generates, the more equity she earns. This kind of deal not only incentivizes Clark to excel, but also aligns her interests directly with the brands she represents. Imagine Clark's Nike deal. Rather than just receiving a fixed salary, she could earn additional shares based on her performance, merchandise sales, and overall brand growth. The same could apply to Gatorade, where Clark could receive a share of profits from new product lines she promotes. This kind of deal would not only make Clark one of the highest paid female athletes ever, but could set a new standard for endorsement deals in women's sports. If Clark were to secure equity in her sponsorships, it would undoubtedly create a ripple effect across the WNBA. Other top players like Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, and Breanna Stewart might start demanding similar deals, feeling that they deserve the same opportunities as Clark. This could create tension within the league, but could also lead to more lucrative deals for WNBA players overall.
Like there's that 4-year period where you need to grow as a person.
But then the NIL comes into play.
Oh,
we keep walking right back into that. 500,000, $1 million off your NIL. Are you staying?
The WNBA itself could benefit from Clark's equity-based sponsorships. If Clark's equity deals prove successful, they could open the door for other players to negotiate similar terms, attracting more star athletes to the league. The WNBA could become a proving ground for the most marketable female athletes, leading to increased interest, higher TV ratings, and more sponsorship dollars.
Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa. A global platform now that Caitlin will have coming into the professional ranks. So it's really a great time to be in basketball.
Build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows like it's a slog to be a sports.
However, not everyone in the WNBA is thrilled about Clark's growing power. There's already been talk of jealousy among players, with some feeling that Clark's rapid rise is overshadowing their years of hard work. If Clark starts securing equity in her sponsorships, this divide could widen, creating an atmosphere of competitiveness and tension within the league. So, what could Caitlin Clark's sponsorship equity deals actually look like? Let's break down a few possible scenarios. Scenario 1. Nike offers Clark equity in a new women's basketball division, giving her a say in product development, marketing campaigns, and the expansion of her signature shoe line. This would make Clark a co-owner of a Nike brand, much like Michael Jordan's relationship with the Air Jordan line. Scenario 2. Gatorade could introduce a new product line called Clark Fuel, aimed at young female athletes. Clark would not only endorse the product, but would also receive a percentage of the profits. This would align her personal brand with Gatorade's mission of empowering female athletes, making her an even more valuable asset to the brand. Scenario 3. State Farm could offer Clark an equity stake in a campaign targeting college athletes transitioning to professional sports. As part of the campaign, Clark could provide mentorship, host clinics, and create branded content, receiving a percentage of the campaign's profits. This would expand Clark's influence beyond just basketball, positioning her as a mentor and role model for young athletes. If Caitlin Clark secures equity in her sponsorships, the economic impact could be massive, not just for her, but for the entire landscape of women's sports. Clark's ability to command such deals could encourage brands to invest more in women's sports, leading to better pay and more opportunities for female athletes. We could see a shift in how sponsorship dollars are allocated, with more brands offering equity stakes to top female athletes. Clark's success could also inspire younger athletes to think differently about their careers. Rather than just aiming for endorsement deals, they could strive for ownership and equity, creating long-term financial stability and generational wealth. Clark's potential deals could serve as a blueprint for future athletes looking to maximize their earning potential. Caitlin Clark's rumored WNBA ownership offer has already sparked excitement, but the possibility of equity stakes in her sponsorships could take her career and the entire landscape of women's sports to a new level. This isn't just about more money for Clark. It's about setting a new standard for athlete endorsements and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in women's sports. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the game on the court, she's changing it off the court too. For more detail on Caitlin Clark's rumored ownership offer of the Indiana Fever, click on this video here.